Hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing okay. Today is Monday, it's April 12th. I hope you had a great weekend. Hope your week is off to a good start. Um, I'm doing okay, I'm hanging in there. I had a quiet weekend at home. I'm gonna tell you something. This pandemic is really, it, it's been challenging, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm hanging in there. It's tearing my hair out a little bit, just going a little bit stir crazy, but aside from that, I'm all right. So today is the first day of Ramadan, right? It's a holy month, and for those of you who observe and celebrate Ramadan, I just want to wish you a happy holy month. Please be careful with the fasting, especially with the pandemic going on. Please be very careful with your health. All right. All right. So I wanted to talk a little bit, firstly, about the COVID-19 vaccine, and for those of you who've been checking out my Facebook page, I highly recommend getting vaccinated. I've been a strong proponent of it, and I'm hoping that if as many as possible get vaccinated as quickly as possible, we can resume a normal life, right? So that's what I'm hoping for, and I'm hoping that again that you will get vaccinated as soon as you can. Here in New York State, the age is 16 and above. Anyone age 16 and over can get vaccinated. Um, I remember when they announced that people of my age bracket could get vaccinated, I had a hard time finding vaccination sites. Um, the information I saw mentioned it would be available a at local pharmacies in my area. And when I checked online, I couldn't find any pharmacies that had any availability for the vaccination. So I ended up calling the New York City Department of Health, right? Um, let's say I called them on a Thursday. The next day, I was getting vaccinated. That's how quickly they helped me. They scheduled an appointment for me the following day. I was vaccinated. I got the first dosage, and I have to go back in about a little bit over a week and get the second dose. But I'm so glad that I got it, and I didn't have any side effects. My arm was sore the next day. I rested up the next day, but aside from that, I was fine. Okay, so I'm encouraging everyone, please get vaccinated. All right, and for those of you who live in New York City, the five boroughs. If you live or work in New York City, you're eligible to get the free vaccination. I'm recommending you call the New York City Department of Health. That phone number is 212-639-9675. Okay, that phone number is 212-639-9675. When you call them, they will schedule the appointment with you right there on the phone. So please give them a call as soon as you can, and get the vaccine. All right, so this next part is for teens. Um, so I absolutely love the young teens and young adult population, right? I feel like I just I completely get I completely identify with their way of thinking. Sometimes I can't explain it, but there you are. I'm in favor of teens advocating for themselves, meaning that they interact and engage with local politicians, and especially because these politicians are passing legislation that directly affects teens and young adults. I'm hoping that they are voting. I would like to see teens have the right to vote. Um, Again, I'm hoping that teens across the United States all, for lack of a better word, unionize and and fight for the right to vote. I know in some states, voting age 17 or whatever. I'm hoping that the voting age gets dropped even lower. And I've said this a gazillion times on social media, on Twitter, and I'm going to say it again. Here in New York State, the law allows for 14-year-olds to seek mental health services on their own without parental consent. That means a 14-year-old can choose a mental health, services provider on their own. And so if we allow 14-year-olds to make that kind of decision here in New York State, they should have the right to vote. It's the same type of decision making. So that's how I feel about it. I feel that they should have the right to vote. Okay. And again, I don't feel right, even though I feel this way, I don't feel right driving this issue. I feel that the teens should grab this bull by the horn if they so desire and run with it. So my advice to teens across the country is to find out, contact your local legislators, your governor, senators, congressional representatives, and question them about this issue. And find out what do you need to do to get the voting age in your state changed and lowered so that teens can vote. Another issue that's troubling to me is recently in Arkansas, they passed legislation stating that no health care would be provided to teens who identify as transgender. This concerns me because once you say, well, we're not going to provide medical care to anyone to teens who identify as transgender, well, then you can go forward from there. You can take away their right to education, housing, food, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, again, that's very disturbing to me. I was very disappointed about that. The state of Georgia also passed legislation recently that was also disturbing. It's various voter suppression laws, and the goal is to suppress minority voters, make it harder for them to vote. And again, I'm hoping that people see that voting is so very important. It matters. It really matters. For anyone who says it doesn't matter, just by the number of laws that the Republican Party has passed, making it harder for minorities to vote, it demonstrates how important your vote is. So I'm hoping that, minority voters, if you aren't registered to vote, please register to vote. And when it's time to vote, it's important that we show up for each and every election, right? You can't just do the presidential one and then that's it. We don't see you again for the next 4 years. No, each and every election you need to come out and vote, all right?